In this video, I'll be talking about how the relationship between sports and fashion is forming a new culture by using both digital and traditional media outlets. My main interests are within football, so examples are often related to what has been evident within football with aspects of similar situations in other sports. This video covers how sport and fashion are joining together with the use of modern and traditional media to gain exposure, creating a new sports culture as both sport and fashion have devoted, passionate audiences. I will discuss marketing as a whole, talking about athlete and sport organisations' partnerships with fashion brands and how they are utilising media to communicate how the world of sport is evolving hand in hand. Transformations in digital media are forming a new type of athlete who are basically seen as celebrities who are very talented at sport. Due to the disruptive nature of new media technologies, the insatiable appetite for sports content has long surpassed just the on-field action. Brand partnerships increase brand exposure, breaking into new markets but adding extra value. Sports mixing with fashion has consistently been on the increase in years gone by, with sports brands partnering with iconic fashion giants, capitalising on the significant popularity of sport across the world and how people consume it through media. Basketball has been leading the way with incorporating fashion within sport, by the NBA having its own version of a fashion show before every game, with the players entering the arena in fashionable clothing being displayed on the TV broadcast. This is all dependent on the interpretation of what you think is a good look, of course. Either way, it gets people talking. Russell Westbrook, Jason Tatum and Devin Booker have all made lasting impressions with their tunnel looks. These days, it's all part of the spectacle, with sports athletes being influential to the masses, not only with their incredible sporting ability, but with how they present themselves being a growing factor regarding brand image. Modern media such as social media, i.e. Twitter, Instagram and TikTok, encapsulate the online audience with anything they are interested in. The transition to modern media has been in unison with the growth of technology and an array of online platforms. With a mixture of traditional media, such as magazines, this has now been adapted to suit digital media such as the likes of Soccer Bible, Versus, Sports Illustrated and Footballer Fits, who all incorporate online articles to their social media platforms to gain traffic on their website, discussing all things new with sport athletes and their lifestyles. From looking at their engagement online, it is clear that sports consumers have a significant interest in athletes as people, as well as what they do in their respected sports. Fashion is a tangible product, so it goes hand in hand with having a tangible product such as a magazine dedicated to the relationship that sport and fashion have. Vogue have been market leaders for years within fashion, and even though digital media is now dominant in how people consume information, a magazine is part of showing identity within a culture. Something that traditional media such as magazines have that is different in comparison to new digital media is that consumers have to wait for a monthly issue. This brings added value to the product and an increase of sense of identity for the consumer through the media. The transformation of mass media has been influential with the evolution of the modern-day athlete. This is evident with many examples of athletes using their popularity and globally known status to encounter on different interests that they may have. A great example of this is Real Madrid's teenage superstar, Eduardo Camavinga, becoming the first ever footballer to walk the runway for Balenciaga back in July. Balenciaga, one of the most influential fashion brands in recent years, solidifying luxury's ever-expanding relationship with the next generation of football. Athletes are now actively seeking opportunities with fashion labels to build their brand and their following on social media platforms. Odell Beckham is the most followed NFL athlete on Instagram. Even though he isn't necessarily the best at his sport, his brand image is significant as he posts plenty of lifestyle pictures in clothing, which makes him marketable and appealing to sponsorship opportunities for big brands due to his online media presence and large influence to millions around the world. According to Mark Foxton, who is Levi's head of global partnerships and collaborations, he said, "Athletes allow us to engage with a different customer, and now more than ever, athletes are amplifying their individuality and self-expression through fashion. Athletes are seen as brand ambassadors, and fashion brands are identifying athletes who fit brand image and have a substantial online following on social media platforms to capitalise on their popularity through modern media platforms in the aim of increasing their mass communication. Examples of this include Clarks with Raheem Sterling, Off-White with Serena Williams, and Gucci with Jack Grealish. With the success of these partnerships, it is highly likely that we will see this become ever more common in years to come. Fashion brands aren't only partnering with sports athletes, as it is common for fashion brands to partner with the world's best teams by supplying clothing for off-pitch engagements within football. Examples of these collaborations include Man City and D-Squared, AC Milan and Off-White, Inter Milan and Moncler, and PSG with Bape. These collaborations are a good sign for football status in global culture, but this is potentially at the expense of the common fan. With the excitement of these partnerships creating noise on social media platforms, this forms great brand exposure for both parties. Football clubs are trying to reach a younger demographic by broadening their horizons with partnerships that will be displayed across media platforms, something that wouldn't have been a viable strategy without the transformation of modern media. I hope this video has shown how the world of sport is changing due to the capabilities that modern media is allowing the consumer to gain an interest in, however still showing how traditional medias such as magazines still have a relevance in today's world. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my blog that's in the link below.